E3. It's the most wonderful time of the nerdy year, and we are here to recap this one, and then review this one, and then we're going to talk about all the great games.
It's an E3-centered weekly R&R where we recap
and review
while you relax and
review.
Rest and relax. Whatever. Welcome to the E3 Roundup episode, because that is everything. So much to discuss. Let's get to it, shall we? That's Charles. That's Link.
And that's Gutter.
Thank you. Let's do it. That's what we had to deal with.
At all these games.
Whole lot of
talk
news.
about.
Whole lot of stuff.
About the ones we care about, and we'll conspicuously omit the ones we don't.
Kick us off.
All right, so in E3, first showcase was EA. They had FIFA 17, Mass Effect Andromeda, Battlefront 2, Titanfall 2, and Battlefield 1.
Yeah, FIFA 17, the first real big licensed sports game with a big story mode to it.
An actual single-player narrative.
Right, where you follow around a specific player that they've already made for you, that you don't it's not like be a pro mode, but you follow their journey and their career through the pro leagues. And by looking at the trailer, I feel like there's a lot more that could be done with it, and what they're trying to do with it may limit the gameplay a little bit. You saw in the trailer part of his struggles, you know what I mean, in missing goals. Now what if you're just really good at FIFA and you have it on the easiest difficulty and it's tough for you to miss? They have to force you to miss to force the storyline to keep going. How are they going to do that and not completely take you out of it?
I mean, they showed that trailer, but they didn't give you a sense of what the gameplay would be. Is it strictly story-driven where you're only doing button prompts or decision-making? Maybe you're not actually playing the games.
Or does the story become affected by how well you do? If you happen to just dominate because you have it on the easiest mode, do you just immediately become anointed as soccer god? But I think it would have been more interesting if they went, I guess, to a darker side, which probably wouldn't have been easy for EA as such a big publisher. But another company that maybe an indie developer would have been more likely to, have more interesting out-of-game elements mixed in with a regular soccer engine. If you had a lot of real struggles off the field, to make it kind of like Heavy Rain, but with sports, that would be great for me.
It's definitely something substantial compared to every other sports game where it's just the sport itself. You control this guy, you can control everybody if you want. You just play the game over and over, different opponents, this and that, difficulty, online, offline. It's definitely something new. I'm imagining they probably didn't take out the whole aspect of, playing the sport, in a quick join or just a quick play match, be there. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, compared to, it's EA, so they definitely showed off their other sports games, Madden, hockey and all that, which is great. But this is the one that really stood out because it's something completely new and different. Also from that EA, Battlefront 2 was announced. No date, I don't think, was given for it, but they mentioned it would include Episode 7, The Force Awakens, which a lot of people wanted in Battlefront 1. I think that's fantastic. The big problem with Battlefront 1 was the lack of content, just being that it's solely multiplayer, which is all right. A lot of games are going that way now, but seeing that they have a sequel planned with more ideas, and hopefully they can take what they've learned and make an even better product, and because it's Star Wars, I look forward to it. I played Battlefront 1, so I look forward to Battlefront 2 whenever that may be.
That X-Wing VR, though.
That's a different story. It's still Star Wars, but that was shown off. It's Sony's.
Let me just tell you.
So let's not get crossed.
Hey, I'm all in on VR.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Battlefield 1.
What about, did you play the other Battlefields?
Yeah. Not the recent ones, because...
But you've played Battlefield before.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Battlefield 1 gameplay you saw?
I didn't see gameplay.
Next! Bethesda's press conference included the announcement of Quake Champions, Prey, more Fallout 4 DLC, Dishonored 2, and a remaster of Skyrim.
Which, I've seen games remastered before, and they're really nothing special. They might re-release it with all the DLC included. That doesn't matter. They label it remaster. I don't know if that counts. But the remaster of Skyrim, actually, that they've showed comparative 360 versus the one, PS3 versus PS4, and it looks they've done a masterful job making the environment from one console generation to the next. It's unbelievable looking and whatnot. I can't imagine what else they would have even included. If that's all it is aesthetic, it's gonna be disappointing.
Mods.
Oh, that's right, mod support too. So.
Yeah.
And even so, the most amazing part of that is that I felt like in recent generations, there's kind of been a diminishing return. Like, it's been tougher to tell. Graphics are just so great nowadays that it's tougher to tell with newer generations, unless it's like cinematics or something, of exactly where the improvements lie. And you can clearly see that in the Skyrim remaster. It's insane, the difference. I feel like it's a lot more difficult to get a clearly more recognizable difference. I mean, it helps that they showed it side to side and they showed it more directly, but it's amazing.
Also from Bethesda, I know Dishonored 2 has gotten a lot of talk since they revealed that it was being made. From this E3, there's a lot more gameplay. They revealed that you could play as 2 different characters. You could choose whoever you want to play as. Some of the new abilities and all that, just kind of showing off. I mean, we'll ultimately see if the interface is exactly the same as it was in the first game, but that should be good. I played the first game. I look forward to this. Other than that, Quake Champions, strictly multiplayer. I mean, you're a multiplayer guy, right? Yeah. Overwatch. Just Quake Champions look appealing to you? I think it looks weird. I mean, it's only cinematic. If they show gameplay, maybe they had a demo on the floor.
Not too interested. I
mean, Prey has a whole convoluted history with being made and then being canceled, now being re-revealed. There was a whole ordeal with it. People are excited, though, so more power to them. Again, it's another wait-and-see mentality for me because you need more information before you're just going to throw out a judgment.
Such is the nature of E3.
Absolutely. When you have half cinematic trailers where you're guessing, hey, that looks good because it's cinematic, but then when the actual thing itself comes out, we'll see how it is. Next! All right, the Microsoft conference at E3. I mean, you're talking about one of the 2 big consoles here. They talked about Forza Horizon 3, gave it a release date. They talked about ReCore, which they revealed last year but showed more of this year. Halo Wars 2, Gears of War 4, they showed some gameplay, some new gameplay. State of Decay 2 was revealed, possibly with some co-op. Dead Rising 4, a new Xbox One system, 2 of them actually. Xbox One S, which is a slimmer model with some new capabilities. And even Project Scorpio, which there was a whole backstory there too, that they were worried it was going to leak, or they thought it did leak, even though nobody saw it anywhere. So they decided to just get ahead of the curve and announce it themselves, which is coming out next year, and it's an even bigger, better console. It's not, I guess this would be, Xbox One would be Xbox 3. This is an Xbox 4, but it's like a next, I don't know, they have very high aspirations for it.
Yeah. Do they say anything about it, like besides the fact that it's going to be another Xbox with better graphics?
I think more processing power. It's got tons of 4K ability. That seems to be the way things are going now. Is
right.
4K games, 4K movies, 4K streaming, and all that. So
the VR ability, virtual reality. I think they're adding that into the Scorpio.
I would believe it. Yeah. The VR was huge this year. Yeah, I think that was the big thing. People were happy to get sequels. Like I said, Dead Rising 4, Gears of War 4, State of Decay 2. Continuation of stories. It's good if your game's successful and warrants a sequel, then it should be pretty decent.
Right. In most conferences, I was surprised that I saw original IPs in a good chunk of them, and Microsoft didn't really have any of those unless you count Sea of Thieves, which does look really good.
Another massive multiplayer game, very dependent simultaneously on co-op and competitive.
Oh, perfect for the Let's Play community. Yeah, absolutely.
So
they'll eat it up.
You need a crew, and then you fight other crews. So that's the way it goes.
Crew battles. Pirate's life is life for me.
I mean, me personally, I look forward to Gears of War 4. Played them all. Super excited to see the continuation of that story. State of Decay. I played the first one. You and I sort of talked before, and we agreed. Kind of lost its luster. It's cool. Yeah. It's another fun zombie game. But now the addition of possible co-op, which would make it so much better.
Co-op zombie games are the best. That's all I gotta say.
Other than that, the big scoop was, their new projects, their new console projects, and all the new capabilities with those.
Next!
Ubisoft announced Ghost Recon Wildlands, Steep, South Park.
Say the subtitle.
Oh, I'm gonna put the
Fractured Butthole.
The Fractured Butthole. Watch Dogs 2, and what the fuck?
For Honor. That's a big one. People are super jazzed up for that. They showed off a lot of that too. Cinematic trailer, gameplay, let people play it. It was For Honor is a big
trailer
deal.
Alone, how can you not get hyped up for something like that? That was a really well done trailer.
Would you play as a samurai, a knight, or a Viking?
The knight.
Viking.
Viking
all the way.
Viking.
For Valhalla!
I mean, Ghost Recon Wildlands, if you guys saw that, I think they revealed that last year with just like a tease. But this year, they showed like an extended 16 minutes of like one mission where it's, 4-player co-op. You can come across other players randomly in the world to like team up with and like go do this mission. It was pretty wild.
South Park is exactly what you'd expect. And amazing because of just that.
We've known it's been coming out, but now obviously because E3, you see more. You could see gameplay, more information, people talking about it. It just it still has the same humor of the first game, which is fantastic because the first game was wonderful in my opinion. And to take that just to another level, I don't see this as disappointing at all, because this game is like superheroes. They're running with that.
Oh, yeah.
As the first game was, I guess, more with the fantasy.
Yeah.
You could be a wizard or whatever else they had. So it's good to see them the same. I think the same foundation, but a different presentation of it.
I would expect nothing less from them, and I can't wait.
It's going to be new jokes, old jokes that you love, new sort of interface, and it looks wonderful. Couldn't escape Watch Dogs.
No.
And Steep is interesting. I mean, an open world sports game, unlike any other. Extreme sports, snowboarding, skiing, cliff diving, parachuting. I'm eager to see if that works. They showed it
Wouldn't play
in
myself.
Concept, and you wouldn't play Steep?
No, I would watch people play it.
I think it's a great concept. I just can't imagine the fun in walking up the mountain for 12 hours to ski down it for 30 seconds and then walk back up again. People tell you got to go to work, you got to eat dinner. Mom, climbing the mountain. I got time. I got to jump down again. Next! Oh, okay, here's another big one. Talked about Microsoft before, obviously the console wars. Sony had a hell of a conference themselves. They showed off the new God of War, which people are calling God of War 4, but it's just God of War, which is a whole thing.
They're not calling it Dad of War?
No, even though, it would pass for it. Maybe that's the subtitle. They showed off Days Gone, Last Guardian finally got a release date, Horizon Zero Dawn is all over the place. Showed off Detroit, Resident Evil 7 is another huge deal.
VR!
This is where they kind of went on their whole VR rant, and some of the stuff looks almost unfathomable. And this guy's a big VR supporter.
Let me just tell you.
So let's not get crossed.
Hey, I'm all in on VR.
Yeah, we'll get to that. People are going to be dying. They're going to have aneurysms and heart attacks, and it's going to be...
Well, then I can have it in my self-driving, fully electric car.
They showed off Battlefront VR game, flying an X-Wing. Who the hell doesn't want that? They showed off a Batman VR game. Everyone loves Batman. You want to be Batman? You can be Batman.
Yeah, I want to be Batman.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remaster. They showed off Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, and then they revealed, hey, the demo's available now.
Final Fantasy VR?
Final Fantasy also had VR. They showed off Insomniac making a Spider-Man game, PS4 exclusive. I mean, sure, Spider-Man games are fine. I played a few of them. I don't know why everyone lost their mind for that, but that's cool. Maybe it'll be life-changing.
Who knows?
And the big thing was Hideo Kojima finally showing up, coming out, and revealing Death Stranding, his new game, which only had a cinematic, left people making conspiracy theories because it gives nothing. I mean, it's Kojima.
It's Kojima.
It's like the weirdest thing. There's dead whales and fish. There's a baby in an umbilical cord for a man. There's flying things in the sky. Got like weird metal stuff around his neck.
It's Kojima.
It leaves everything up to the imagination because it's Kojima.
And you know what? We're going to see the whole thing, and we still won't be able to make sense of it.
Probably not.
Nope.
It does, again, have Norman Reedus, like we saw in the Silent Hills playable teaser, PT, which has thus been canceled, but now Konami and Reedus teamed back up again. He showed off at E3 during Sony's conference that Death Stranding is the new project that we can all look forward to.
Yay!
I mean, I thought Sony's conference was out of this world.
Huge.
I mean, God of War 4, the reveal, I went nuts, the crowd went nuts, the simultaneous as he came out of the shadows, and like, holy shit, it's Kratos. Days Gone looks good. Another zombie game, but it looks like a Last of Us clone. Very realistic, post-apocalyptic. Resident Evil 7, as they revealed it, they also said the demo is available now, and you could find that everywhere. Everyone's playing it. Resident Evil 7 demo. I think it's on PlayStation 4 only as of right now. I don't know if that plans to change. I mean, the Infinite Warfare trailer caught people off guard because all of a sudden it's in space. No one knew what it was until they showed the title. Oh, could I forget? The Crash Bandicoot remaster. That was a huge thing.
Crash Bandicoot.
Finally bringing back Crash.
It's also a Skylander now, I heard.
That is true.
Yeah.
Great.
They're going to bring him back in baby steps.
Yeah.
Glad to see him back, Crash.
Anything else guys want to say about Sony? I did a lot of talking for Sony.
Yeah,
So-
I got nothing. Wait till you hear what Nintendo has up their sleeve for this year's E3. So we've got announcements of Pokemon Go, which is a now mobile app Pokemon game. You get a little thing on your wrist, and you can use your smartphone and the app in that to basically catch Pokemon in your backyard and everywhere that you go. We got more information about Pokemon Sun and Moon. We got the trailer for Zelda Breath of the Wild, which everybody is super excited about.
Yeah. He's...
We got an original IP for a new role-playing game called Ever Oasis, which is kind of a little Zelda, a little Animal Crossing, all kind of
yeah.
smushed up in one and mixed together. It actually looks really good, and I'm very excited for it. And I like the new IPs that Nintendo has been rolling out with this and Splatoon as well. I like that they're taking the feedback of not just going with the rehashes, but actually trying to develop a lot more new stuff. Because, hey, eventually you're going to need some new Smash Brothers characters.
Yeah.
Then has Mario Party Star Rush, which, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Doesn't look too good.
Especially after the last one where everybody was in the car. They've been taking away a lot of the element that a lot of people loved in the first place with Mario Party, which was a lot of ruthless competitiveness. I feel like that was lost in the last one, and I don't get any of the inkling of that with this one either.
Such a family-friendly character as Mario, who's lasted generations and decades. Just brought out the worst in people.
Yeah.
You played against each other.
And I feel like that taking that away takes away the excitement of Mario Party, does it not? And now it's your turn all the time. They didn't go too much into the mechanics of how it'll work, but it's a big red flag for me. Paper Mario Color Splash, it's always really gimmicky and self-aware. It's Paper Mario as it is. It should be at least decent, even if Paper Jam was a bit of a disappointment for the crossover between that and Mario and Luigi. But overall, Nintendo had a real strong showing with a lot of new game announcements.
Obviously, the big one, Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
People lost their minds for. You can watch videos all over the internet of the gameplay they showed off. Like, lots of gameplay. There's an hour-long video. There's a 16-minute long video. Showed some of the stuff you could do. Talked about how vast and open it is. I think they said they retitled dungeons to shrines, but I think is traditional Zelda players,
right.
You'll probably still refer to them as dungeons anyway.
Probably.
They allow you to go, complete free roam is what they've been showing off.
And
You go
it
to
just
any
looks
dungeon at any
beautiful.
time. Yeah.
Just do anything. Cook, you kill animals, you just fucking climb shit, whatever.
I saw somebody made a big deal that you could jump. Link can jump now.
yeah.
At any time, anywhere. If you want to jump, he can jump.
That's a pretty big leap
That's a big
for the
deal.
Zelda series.
He's also right-handed now.
Is that a thing?
He was always left-handed
Yeah.
because Miyamoto's left-handed.
Now he's right-handed.
And even though, in that sense, the origin of Zelda was Miyamoto, exploring the forests beyond his house, and it was the most...
Yeah.
It was a very in tune with nature kind of inspiration for it, and now it's kind of coming back to its roots with how much exploration can be done. Now, they say they took out a lot of elements as far as with the storytelling and with a lot of the elements of the story and the side quests and different things. They took it out for the purpose of the demo, so we didn't get to see everything that it holds. But as far as that element of exploring, that true open-endedness, I think it really is getting back to the roots of what Zelda really has been all about, and I can't wait.
Even the amiibo thing looks sweet.
Oh yeah, Waluigi amiibos finally. Finally, everybody's been clamoring specifically for Waluigi. Why? No idea. But people got him. Finally.
Yes.
I mean, like every year, E3 as a whole, just, there's so much to grasp.
Absolutely.
There's so much to take in, whether it be the consoles, whether it be the publishers, the developers, the individual games, whether or not they're sequel or continuations or, original titles. Another E3 in the books.
Should we give out awards? Best original title, best announcement.
I was going to ask you what each your biggest takeaway was. Your absolute, the most surprising, the most exciting thing to you from this entire...
If any one thing, the general gist I got of it was the future is now, VR is here, deal with it. That's the overall sense I got from the show, especially from Sony. Biggest announcement, the biggest takeaway, I don't know if there's any one that sticks out. There's a lot of really good ones. FIFA 17 with the story mode, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Sea of Thieves. A lot of great ideas, but not one that rose up above the rest of them. As much fanfare as they gave Kojima, it wasn't a clearly bigger announcement than any one of the rest of the announcements. It was a lot of good and no transcendent. You know what I mean? So if I had to pick one, I'll say Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yes, me too.
You guys are biased.
Fine. Dad of War.
I was going to say God of War.
If you buy it, I'll watch you play it.
You have an excuse to be biased. You have a Zelda t-shirt.
That's true. That's a good point, actually. Just because I've played the God of Wars, I love that style, the adventure. That was a huge thing that people were speculating. You know, they thought, hey, maybe we'll see a Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe we'll see God of War with all these rumors and leaks, you know, behind the stories. And to finally see it in action in a completely different... The gameplay itself, you know, the essence of God of War has changed, but yet it's still so familiar. And the reveal was just almost as dramatic as Kojima when he comes out of the shadows. Kojima gets his lighted walkway. I mean, there's so much. Like we said, Steep is a brand new concept, open world, extreme sports, Skyrim remaster.
Yeah.
I mean, how many hours did people already put into the original game, and now how many more hours are they going to dedicate their life to playing that again?
Yep.
It's like God of War, Resident Evil 7 is a huge deal because people have been saying the last two have been shit. So maybe this one's actually going to be scary again and not just like action games.
Yeah, okay, I see that.
I mean, Crash Bandicoot, I'm excited. That gives me nostalgia. I mean, there's so many places you can go. A new Xbox console.
So,
It seems they always come out around the same time because they directly compete. If they already plan on doing another one and yet they announce all these games, is that going to kill this one?
game most likely to suck. Most likely to destroy expectations, completely suck ass.
Mario Party.
Yeah, that's an easy pick too.
I was thinking that's too easy. I'm going to take, I don't know if it's too risky. Ghost Recon Wildlands looks too good. It seems too ambitious, too promising, aesthetically so good, and the gameplay looks, you know, so unpredictable, yet so engaging. I don't believe it can live up to that. I think there's going to be some drawback. There's going to be insane loading times. There's going to be shitty connectivity. I don't know, something.
Charlie, game most likely to suck.
I'm going to say Spider-Man, just because I feel like they're not going to be able to make another Spider-Man 3.
That's my favorite Spider-Man game. Game most likely to suck?
Dad of War.
Shut up. Well,
It's going to turn into a giant escort mission. It's built so much into the gameplay mechanic that it feels against what you want to do
holding you back
with the freedom of the game.
because his son's there the whole time.
Exactly. And I feel like that's just a recipe for disaster. Another recap and review in the books, ladies and gentlemen.
Another good recap and review. I mean, we could talk for hours. It's E3. There's so many topics.
We could talk for days.
We can go-
People have talked for days.
We can go down each game, but we try to keep this
We're gonna keep
within
talking for
attention
days.
within attention span.
Let's keep going.
I can't speak this.
I already forgot.
You know, obviously, when I edit, I can only put up so many videos or pictures or whatever the hell I decide to do. Any of these titles, anything interests you, go look them up. Go read about it themselves because you might think completely different. You might love Mario Party. Star Rush might be right up your alley, as opposed to ultra realism like God of War or Days Gone, Battlefield 1. You know,
But these are our opinions, which means they're true.
hell yeah, they are. Charlie, send us out on a high note. Give us something.
I have nothing. We'll see you next year at E3's next fucking 2017 and
Well,
all
I
their
mean,
games.
E3 we'll see next year. I'll see you guys next week.
Okay.
You'd think.
Well, hopefully,
Hopefully I see you like Tuesday or something.
unless
We'll see y'all next week.
lose.
What?
Okay, it's like...